Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So it's been quite a few weeks since I did my last Taboo Tuesday. I would like it to be a weekly thing, but obviously university is my priority at the minute, and although I love creating content, like I can't always sit down and film like a really deep or intense video around for Taboo Tuesday. And obviously I've already restricted myself by calling it Taboo Tuesday that I have to upload on Tuesdays, so I think it'll be quite nice as long as I have like 1 or 2 a month. I think that'll be great. And I really want to sort of talk about topics that are either current or things that aren't talked about enough, and I feel like it'll be useful to get out my experiences with these topics to help girls or just anyone in general feel like they can voice their opinions confidently, and that they shouldn't have to hide anything away from anyone or anything. And just things like today I'm actually doing on periods and like contraception, like the contraceptive pill, and like my experience throughout the whole thing. Every now and again I'll whack on my Instagram and my Snapchat asking if any of you guys have any specific questions to do with the topic, or if you guys want to suggest any topics you want me to talk about, then feel free to message me on any of my social media. They're always linked down below, because I love like hearing what other people want me to talk about, and I also like hearing your questions because I'm happy to answer them. I am one of the most open people I know, to be honest, when it comes to things like this. So yeah, I'm happy to share what I've experienced and how it's affected me, and my coping mechanisms and things that I've tried that have helped me personally, in order to hopefully help some of you out there who are struggling or stressed or not as open. Feel free to also message me, and I'll keep you anonymous if you have any questions after this video, because I'm always here if anyone needs to have a chat. But right, yeah, let's get into the main part of the video. So, periods. All of us girls have experienced periods, some from a very young age, some from a bit of a later age. I'm jealous of you. For me, I've spoken about periods in random videos every now and again, like in little deep chats or like juicy Q&As. I have talked about periods, but I'm just going to do like a big overview of like how I started, like any of my specific struggles to do with periods, and then I'm going to move on to contraception. So I started my period at the very young age of 9 years old. It happened on a day when I had a basketball game. I was very, very sporty throughout my like teenage younger years, which is so weird to say because I'm now 20 and I've only just like come out of my teenage years. But I did sport like throughout my whole life, probably up until I was about 15, 16, and I had a basketball game. It was obviously not that intense because I was 9 years old, but I was playing for my junior school at the time, and I was in year 5, I believe. It was either year 5, yeah, end of year 5. We had a basketball game against like another junior school, and it was at a different, like, it was actually at a secondary school. I was literally just about to leave for the door. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go to the toilet, and my dad was taking me to this game and he was watching it. I think my brother came as well, I'm not really sure. I just know that it was my dad and my mum was at work. And I went to the toilet and I was like, oh my God, like obviously my initial thought was, what's happening to me? Because when you're in year 5, well, at this, like, I know they've improved the sexual education system since I was in year 5, but at year 5, like, I had no idea what a period was, like, pretty much. I remember just knowing briefly little things to do about periods, because like my mum had like a little book that she'd sometimes like get out, or like she'd show me certain pages in the book, or like my cousin would tell me some stuff about it, but I didn't really know what was going on because I was like obviously white and like obviously not the usual colour that I was used to seeing. So soz about this vid, it's a bit TMI, but like that's what happens. It's not unnatural, it's the normal thing to talk about, it's a normal thing that happens. So I then like sort of called for my dad. By this time, like, my initial thought was like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? And then I sort of like came about and was like, oh, I've probably started my period, I don't really know if I have, I don't really know what to do. So I called my dad, and then he like, I think my dad actually had to ring up my mum when she was working, because he didn't know like where all those things are kept, obviously. My mum told my dad exactly where to like go get the sanitary towels and stuff, and then he like sort of like passed them through the door, like round the corner, and I was like, obviously like, what's this new contraption? Like, I don't know what's going on. And then from then onwards, it's sort of been like a whirlwind of different things that have happened to me. It's been a roller coaster ride since I started my period, to be honest. When I first started, and still now, up until I had the contraceptive pill, my periods have been so irregular, like ridiculously, like sometimes it would be 6 weeks, sometimes it would be 3 weeks between one, sometimes I've had like a period that lasted a week, like 2-week periods. Sometimes I've had like 3-day period, like honestly like the most irregular thing. There were never like a specific time, never a specific like range. Like sometimes it would get into a little pattern and then it would just go completely like the other way. The worst side effect of having a period for me is the pain. Like I have never experienced that much pain before, specifically when I was about like 15, 16 in secondary school. Like I would not be able to like leave my bed, I wouldn't be able to move, I'd be in so much pain. Like I'd have to come home from school and like have a few days off because it was so bad. And obviously that is the point where I knew that I needed to go get it checked out, or I needed to go seek like medical advice, because I couldn't be missing school just from something that was going to happen every month. Like it would make me so behind everyone else if I had like a week off school every month. So when the pains got bad, like my mum took me to the doctors, and there's like the awkward chats, like after I'd explained everything and said that I had excruciating pains, like my periods weren't regular and that it was like very heavy, like abnormally heavy. They were like, oh, we'll put you on the pill. And then my mum wasn't like very keen on that idea when I was like 14. It can like completely change your hormones, it like messes with them a lot, and she didn't want me on them. So I did try some other alternatives, and I can't remember what they were, but it wasn't like a contraceptive pill or anything. Like they just sort of gave me a stronger painkiller, I think, or something like that. I can't remember, or they suggested a stronger painkiller than just like paracetamol or ibuprofen. Yeah, the next stage was like, obviously that carried on happening, so I had to go back like multiple times, and I had to answer all the awkward questions like, could you be pregnant, are you sexually active, blah blah blah, all those awkward questions that they ask you. And I finally started my first pill when I was, I think 16 or 15, because I couldn't like not be going into school just because of my periods. Obviously it is a contraceptive pill, but the main reason I was having it wasn't for contraception, it was for the like to reduce everything or see what it can do. And the first thing I was put on was microgynon, which is a pill that the doctors mainly put everyone on who goes for a contraceptive pill, because it's the cheapest, because it's the most accessible like pill for the contraception. So I got given that, and at first I was blessed. Like literally I'd say for about 6 months I was absolutely blessed. Like I'd been on the pill, it reduced my periods, it made me have periods every 4 weeks, it like reduced my flow, little to no pain at all. So I was like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever, I'm so excited, like I finally found something that's like cured my pain and I'm not gonna have to go through that again. And then about 5-6 months later, after I started this pill, I started to get like the worst side effects. I was so hormonal, I would scream at like nothing basically. I'd just be like an absolute psycho whilst I was on these pills, and it was just abnormal, it wasn't right. Like I started to realise that this wasn't me, I was starting to get like depressed. Yeah, and I could definitely tell that it was the pill that was affecting that, like because I did have it in the back of my mind, but I never really thought about it. And then when I started discussing it with like my family, like my older cousin, she told me, oh my god, what pill are you on? Like I had these side effects, and I told her and she was like, oh my god, that was the pill I was on. She basically said she went the exact same as me after she'd had the pill for a bit, the microgynon pill. Obviously I'm not a medical professional or anything, like different pills can work for different people. I've heard people that have got on really well with microgynon, but it really made me like completely flip moods. Like it was the worst. And 1 second I'd be like buzzing, and then the next second I'd want to just like scream or shout or be on my own. Like I just swapped moods so quickly. And the same happened with my cousin. I don't know if it's because obviously you've got similar genetics and stuff, but we just both didn't really get on with it. And she was like, change your pill, you need to change, like it's making you like turn into a different person, it's affecting your mood like drastically, so go and change it. And then she did encourage me, like, and that's what made me go in and change my pill. I had about, I'd say 4 or 5 months off the pill, just because it does freak me out that it messes with my hormones. I am the most broody person in the world. No, obviously I wouldn't want a baby now because I'm at uni and I've got a lot of like my career to build up before I start having children. But I'm so broody at the minute, and I'm like, the worst thought to me is not being able to have children. So it just freaks me out that these different pills that are going into my body are like in my bloodstream and messing with my hormones. So I did have a bit of a break from them. I don't know if it's better to have a break or better to just stay on a pill, I don't know. But I just thought, let's get these hormones out of the system for a bit. I had 5 months, I think, off the pill, safely using other forms of contraception instead. And then I moved on to my second pill, which is the pill that I'm currently on. Listerine on now, and the thing that has worked wonders for me. I read something the other day where someone said that they have gone absolutely like crazy with Listerine, which is mad because obviously it's done the opposite effect to what microgynon had on me. Like, I don't feel any side effects at all. Microgynon was also making me gain weight, although the doctor said that it wasn't making me gain weight. Like, I know it was, because I wasn't eating properly, I barely felt hungry, and I was literally just so constantly bloated and just constantly gaining weight when I was on that pill. Because as soon as I started Listerine, I have had all of the good side effects from microgynon. Like, I had a reduced blood flow, I've had regulated periods and no pain, or little to no pain. It's sort of slightly, the only difference between Listerine and microgynon is microgynon definitely decreased the amount of pain I had. I still do have a little bit of pain on Listerine, but I actually have been using these like new little pad patches that I promoted on Instagram the other day, which I was so skeptical about. Like, I promise you, I hated, like, I did feel a bit like, putting it on my Instagram and doing like a sponsored post with them, because I know people are going to think that I'm lying, but I actually have used these pads. They're literally like plasters. They've got all natural ingredients and you just place them over your lower abdomen or your back, and they are wonderful. Like, in 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes, they just completely removed any sort of pain that I had, and I don't know how it happened. I was so skeptical. I was absolutely shooketh when it worked, and here I am. So yeah, I really recommend those pads. I'll leave them down below in case anyone wants to buy them. I just thought I'd mention that as a side note. This isn't sponsored. Yeah, other than them using them patches, Listerine has reduced my pain a lot. I only recently had like a really bad day where my stomach had hurt, but I've only just come back on Listerine, so that's probably why, like, I did go off Listerine again over the summer period between like the crossover of uni and like being at home, because it was just a really awkward time, and I just sort of let it go. Like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a break from the hormones again, and let's start again sort of thing. So yeah, Listerine has been the best for me, and I definitely recommend changing your pill if you feel like it is affecting your mood or it's not really making a difference to you, because you don't really want to be putting unnecessary hormones into your body if it's not actually making a difference for you. So yeah, that pill change has been the best thing that I have ever done. And yeah, that's sort of like my little period story currently, and what I've used to help stabilise my periods and help maintain them in like a healthy way. Well, healthy way, because obviously messing with your hormones isn't really the healthiest thing to do. That's my little overview, little story, and now I'm going to just move on to a few questions that you guys have asked me that I may not have answered during that little story time. A girl said, this might not be what you're looking for, but maybe you could discuss how depression and anxiety is heightened by using the pill, and it needs to stop being seen as a normal side effect that we just have to live with. People might be afraid, in my opinion, to admit the pill has power to change you in that way. I came off my pill this year, and know other people who have too had depressive symptoms, and that other non-hormonal methods are available. Sorry for the run. No, honestly, like, that is such a valid point. Like I said a minute ago, if you feel like your mood is changing, it probably is because of the pill. If it's like a significant difference that you can definitely feel like a change in your personality or changing your mood, and it's like negatively affecting your life, then you need to change your pill, because it does have that ability to do that. So yeah, please change your pill, and that is a great point. A girl asked me, what pill or contraception are you on? Has it worked for you? So like I said, Listerine, it's like spelled L-O-E-S-T-R-I-N. That has been the best pill for me, and I don't recommend microgynon, but that's also personal preference. I feel like I can't not recommend it because it has worked wonders for other people. So I think just try it out and see which one works best for you, but don't be afraid to speak up if it's not working. Hey lovely, I've always been put off going on the pill as I've heard it makes you gain weight or makes it easier to gain weight. What's your experience or opinion on this? Good luck during your second year. I hope it's treating you well so far. Thank you very much. So my experience in terms of weight, I was gaining weight on one pill. This pill doesn't make me gain weight at all. I'm just personally gaining weight because I'm at uni. So yeah, different pills can make you have them sort of side effects. So loads of doctors say like they can't make you gain weight and things like this, but I've read online say that you can gain weight, and you gain weight anyway when you're on your period. I remember reading once that you can gain up to 8 pounds when you're on your period because of obviously all of the stuff that's going on in there. Because I always feel like I'm so bloated, especially the period that just went for me. I was like bloated, like literally looked like 5 months pregnant at least, and I hadn't eaten a single thing in like hours. So yeah, I feel like weight gain is definitely a thing anyway when you're on your period, but then I saw a weight gain as I was taking the pill as well. So yeah, I think it does have the ability to, but not all pills will do that. You know, I'm just going to cover this last question because the rest of them I've already covered in my story. So what's your opinion on Tesco allowing us to not have to pay VAT on sanitary and period products, but yet other supermarkets haven't undergone that idea? I think it is, it just baffles me that other supermarkets haven't like jumped on the trend, not that it's a trend, but like haven't jumped on the bandwagon and started doing that as well. Like, we shouldn't have to be paying tax for something that is natural, something that we have no control over, something that we can't really stop without it having like a risk on our future pregnancies and things like that. So yeah, I have no idea why other brands haven't, like supermarket brands haven't like jumped on this, and I think it's something that needs... Right, so my camera cut out, but what I was going to say is that there are so many amazing things going on in the country at the minute in terms of sanitary products, and I think it's so awful that we have to pay for like sanitary products, considering it's such an it's a natural thing. We have no control over it, and it does really frustrate me and grinds my gears. But we're not going to get into that debate at the minute because it drives me insane and I'll be fuming. But other than that, I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that it's been somewhat insightful into like how I feel. Sorry that the quality has just dropped to my phone because my camera's just died. Make sure to give this a thumbs up if you did enjoy this little period chat. I will be sure to do like a second part, or chat to you guys in the comments or over DMs if you have any further questions about it or my experience. I really hope this has helped some people out, because I know a lot of people are uncomfortable talking about periods and things like that, and when you shouldn't be at all. Like, don't be afraid to speak up about it. I know some family members do feel awkward because they were brought up to feel like it was a taboo subject, but in this day and age I feel like it's 2018, we can talk about periods if we want to, because guess what? We can't control that and we can't stop that from happening. It's a natural bodily function and we should embrace it. It allows us to have children. So yeah, I'm going to just stop rambling now. Make sure to smash thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe down below if you're new, and I will see you very soon for another video. Let me know if there's any other Taboo Tuesday topics you want me to cover, and I will see you soon.